Welcome to TPM Vid's Disney Beat, where we talk about all things Disney. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video. We also have Instagram and Twitter. You can find us at TPM Videos. Pixar Pier officially opened at Disney California Adventure on June 23, 2018. It replaced the original Paradise Pier, and Disney describes the newly themed area as a whimsical boardwalk where Pixar stories and characters come to life. The pier is separated into different neighborhoods, based on specific films. But Pixar Pier doesn't just reference the studio's major feature films. There's also references to many memorable Pixar short films. And the pier isn't even fully complete yet. There's still more additions coming in the future. So in chronological walking order, we'll discuss all of these changes as we take a little tour of each neighborhood and count down the top 5 new additions to Pixar Pier. Number 5. The first neighborhood you'll find is kinda like a Pixar Main Street, where it celebrates all Pixar characters before getting into specific neighborhoods. This starts right at the new marquee sign, which I think looks great, and does a nice job at including Victorian-era elements to fit the pier. The sign is still missing the Luxo Jr. animatronic that can be seen here in the concept art. Disney said that this animatronic will be installed shortly after the opening, so you can probably expect to see him soon. Now, as you look to the left, you'll notice Nick Snack's Gift Shop, which is themed to the 1989 Pixar short film Knick Knack. The story focuses on Nick the Snowman as he tries to escape the snow globe. To the right, you have the Lamplight Lounge, which replaced the Ariel's Grotto restaurant and the Cove Bar. This is a gastro pub where inside is themed to represent the creativity of the artists and animators that bring Pixar stories to life. And many characters of these Pixar stories can also be found in the lattice of this awning and on the billboards down the ramp. Now, as you're making your way down the ramp, you'll also find the adorable Snowman Frosted Treats ice cream stand. This is themed to the abominable snowman character from Monsters, Inc. In the film, he asks why he can't be called the adorable snowman instead, and that's where the name of the stand comes from. Number 4. The first official neighborhood of Pixar Pier is Incredibles Park, where the major attraction is the Incredicoaster.
It should be called the Death Blaster Hideout.
Oh, I like the Incredicoaster.
Sure, slap our names on an old ride.
Quite normal, darling. Corporations call it synergy.
California Screamin' was turned into the Incredicoaster, and in my honest opinion, I think it looks great for what it is. Now, this Incredibles overlay was just cosmetic changes, and the actual coaster mechanics haven't changed at all. This includes the track layout and the coaster's speed. You're still launched from 0 to 55 miles in a matter of seconds, but a new water effect was added to the train's launch.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
If you're interested, there's a full POV of the Incredicoaster on the channel. But like I said in that video, the coaster shows itself off best from dusk into night. The effects installed in the scream tubes and the lighting package on the coaster itself are much more prominent at night, including the 50 pounds of red glitter used in the last scream tube. Now, the coaster does lose a few points for not having any animatronics. I thought at least one of the figures would be an animatronic, but they're all just static figures. In this scream tube up the lift hill, Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible could have easily been animatronics. With the train traveling at a much slower speed, it would have left a decent amount of time to get a good view of the figures. Either way, it's still a fun ride, and it's still the only coaster at Disneyland that takes you upside down. Now, once you exit the Incredicoaster, you'll find the Jack Jack Cookie Num Num stand, which serves these awesome giant chocolate chip cookies, as well as some other treats. Overall, the Incredibles section has that retro sleek look of the Incredibles, but it is a lot more modern compared to the rest of the pier. Number 3. The second neighborhood in Pixar Pier is the Toy Story Boardwalk. The first thing you'll walk by are these construction walls for Jesse's Critter Carousel, which will open in 2019. This is replacing King Triton's Carousel. Now, as for the rest of the area, the cosmetics haven't changed too much aside from a new paint job. The roofs of the buildings, including the Midway Mercantile gift shop, have a new blue and red color scheme that replaced the original brown and yellow colors. It still flows with a Victorian-era boardwalk, where the headline attraction is Toy Story Midway Mania. This was an existing attraction before the Pixar overlay, and it hasn't really changed at all. It's still the same interactive 3D ride, and the Mr. Potato Head animatronic can still be found in front of the ride interacting with guests. And don't worry, his eyes look a little psychedelic only because of a setting on the camera. Mr. Potato Head is doing just fine.
Thank you, thank you!
Now as for the food stands, there's a couple options in this neighborhood. First, you have Señor Buzz Churros, which if you couldn't guess, serves the famous Disneyland churros. And then there's Poultry Palace, which serves fried chicken and turkey legs. Poultry Palace was a fast food restaurant featured in a 2011 Toy Story short. It was shown before the Muppets movie and was titled Small Fry. Number 2. The Seaside Pixar Promenade is the next neighborhood found on the pier, and there's a lot going on in this area. The Promenade is a general celebration of all Pixar characters, so I guess you could say it's an extension on the marquee area and the ramp leading into the pier. The headline attraction of Pixar Promenade is the Pixar Pal-Around, which is actually the third name and retheme given to this Ferris wheel. When the park first opened, it was called the Sun Wheel. Then in 2008, it was rethemed as Mickey's Fun Wheel, and now the Pixar Pal-Around. And I gotta say, it's an interesting choice of a name. To me, it sounds more like the name of a carousel rather than a Ferris wheel. Now, the Pixar Pal-Around only received cosmetic changes, and the actual ride experience has remained the exact same. The ride debuted with an upgraded marquee and a new color scheme on the frame from red to blue, but Mickey's face is still the centerpiece. The 24 gondolas on the Ferris wheel have also been redecorated. This time they include your favorite Pixar pals from a variety of films, as they swing and sway around the wheel. Pixar Promenade is also home to the Games of the Boardwalk, where you can win and take home some of your favorite Pixar characters. Paradise Pier originally featured Boardwalk Carnival games, but most of them have now been rethemed to Pixar films. First, there's La Luna Starcatchers, a classic fishing-style game that was rethemed to the Pixar short film La Luna. The short was paired with the release of Brave in 2012. Next, there's WALL-E Space Racers, a water shooting game which just happens to be my personal favorite carnival game. And that's themed obviously to the 2008 film WALL-E. Then there's Heimlich's Candy Corn Toss, a simple yet challenging tossing game which was rethemed to the 1998 feature film A Bug's Life. Lastly, you'll find Bullseye's Stallion Stampede, but this Toy Story themed game was originally featured in Paradise Pier and has remained the same. Now in terms of food, across from the carnival games there's always been a hot dog stand, but now it's called Angry Dogs, and it's themed to the character Anger from Inside Out. Anger stands at a whopping 35 inches tall as his head is filled with rage, where you're able to get spicy and non-spicy hot dogs. Now the marquee area of the Promenade was a completely new addition to the pier and replaced some of the old shops. It currently acts as the stage for the Pixarmonic Orchestra that originally debuted in April of 2018. This area also saw the addition of this floating ball fountain, which actually adds a nice kinetic energy to the area. These fountains are always fun to try and reverse the direction the ball's spinning. Overall, the classic look of the boardwalk carries over nicely into the promenade, creating a sort of entertainment hub on the pier. Number 1. The last neighborhood in Pixar Pier is the Inside Out headquarters. This area is yet to be completed, and Disney just announced the name of the attraction that will open in 2019. Inside Out Emotional Whirlwind will be the headline attraction of this neighborhood, which will find a home on the western end of the pier by the helix of the Incredicoaster. Now if you look closely at the concept art, you'll notice that it resembles another current ride at Disney California Adventure. If you aren't aware, A Bug's Land is slated to close late summer of 2018. This is to make way for a new Marvel-themed land. Well, it looks like once the land closes, Flix Flyers will be relocated to Pixar Pier, then rethemed to Inside Out. Now another yet-to-be-completed edition of Pixar Pier is Bing Bong Sweet Stuff. It's a confectionery shop themed to Bing Bong from Inside Out, that was actually supposed to open with the land on June 23rd, but now is delayed until later this summer. The candy store is currently being built as part of Pixar Promenade. With its location right at the border of where the Promenade ends and the Inside Out headquarters starts, I can see it being included in the Inside Out neighborhood once the Emotional Whirlwind ride opens. I'm sure Disney didn't want to debut a neighborhood with just a candy store and no major attraction. Now, I think a lot of these additions to Pixar Pier look really great. There's a pretty cohesive theme that flows through the area and still conveys the Victorian era for the most part, now infused with Pixar. I think the color scheme, especially the prominent red colors, fit the vibe of the pier really well. As a whole, the pier does lose a few points for not having everything open for the 23rd. But honestly, I'm more excited to see the Luxo Jr. animatronic than anything else. So, have you had a chance to check out Pixar Pier? What are your overall thoughts and opinions of this overlay? I'd love to know. So leave a comment down below to start a conversation, and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. If you have any videos from the Disney parks that you'd like to share with us to be used in future videos, follow the link in the description below. Thanks so much for watching! Click the TPM icon on the screen to subscribe to this channel, and check out some of these other videos which we're sure you'll like.